What's going on, guys? It's James, and today we're going to be playing What's Shenmue in high definition. So you're asking, what does that mean? Is this Shenmue HD? First things first, this is not Shenmue HD. This is literally a copy of the Dreamcast version of What's Shenmue being ran in an emulator, forced in high definition using the PowerVR plugin for null DC. So to give a little bit of technical details, we are running Windows 7, null DC. This is an outdated version. The only reason why I'm not running the newest one is just because I don't feel like installing the new binaries that need to be installed with the new version of null DC. This one runs just fine. I will be playing with a keyboard because the Puro plugin likes to crash on me, so I don't feel, like I want to do that and just have a crash in the middle of the game. Not sure why it's doing that. I just really don't have time to find out, debug anything. So graphics settings, null DC settings, you're going to see the FPS shown. You're going to see the FPS shown on the screen so that you can see when the frame rate drops. We got VSync running. We have the highest supported resolution. We're doing extra geometries for the widescreen ratio. We got dynamic and full textures, and we're going to do per strip sortings. Modifier volumes are just normal and clip. So we got higher accuracy. Our Z buffer modes is going to be D24 FSB, so we get fast, nice precision. And we're going to delete the old texture caches. VSync's on, and like I said, you're going to see the FPS so that you'll see when the frame rate drops. Couple things you need to know when you're emulating Shenmue. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of graphics glitches, like Ryo's hair becomes, see-through, and sometimes the audio has like weird issues. Now, frame rate wise, usually when I'm not recording, Shenmue will run at a smooth like 50 to 60 frames a second, which is nice. The game itself in the Dreamcast, I believe, runs at a steady 30 frames a second. So this is like uber smooth. You'll notice while I'm recording that the frame rate likes to drop in certain areas. I'm guessing that has something to do with my hardware. Maybe it's just not powerful enough. We're running this on a computer, running Windows 7, 8 gigs of RAM. We got an NVIDIA 550 Ti video card. And yeah, it should be enough to handle Shenmue. So without further ado, let's get started. So let me open the CDI file. So we got What's Shenmue, and hit OK, and here we go. See if I can get that to disappear. There we go. Alright, so we presented with the What's Shenmue screen. If you were to just stay at this screen, I don't believe anything happens. There's no video or anything, so we're going to go ahead and press start, or on my keyboard, backspace. So in What's Shenmue, you have three different things. We have the tutorial videos, which I'll go into the menu. So you have 4 characters. Everybody except for Mark is in Japanese. This is pretty much equivalent to the retail. However, what's interesting enough is that we have Shenfa and Shuing in this, but they're Shenmue 2 characters. One thing that you should know is that Shenmue 2 apparently was developed before Shenmue 1. It has to do with how the development cycle was kind of reworked when they moved from the Saturn to the Dreamcast. So I'm not going to bother showing you guys that. Down here we got an options menu. Pretty much controls, what stick controls what. Oh yeah, on the Dreamcast you only have one stick, I'm sorry. So we have pretty much just some options here. There's really nothing different from the actual retail version. Now we're going to go into the game, and here we go. You're gonna see Tom without his glasses for a second, which is kind of funny. He's gonna have no hair and no glasses, so you actually see his face, his eyes. Like, it's pretty cool, interesting, because you never actually see him without his glasses on. At least I don't think you do. All right, so we're presented with the notebook. Press start to get the next thing, which is kind of funny. You have to press start to even continue. All right, so now we're gonna start the cutscene. You're going to notice that you kind of fly into the area. That's the game rendering the area before the actual cutscene loads. There's Tom without his glasses and his hair. So, at this point, you're going to notice the audio has some weird issues. This doesn't really happen when I'm not recording. When I am recording, I get like these weird audio pops. But, I mean, since most of this is gameplay, whatever. The background audio is usually pretty fine. The background music.
Oh yeah! Tomo, that's Dario. Okay.
So on the sides of the screen, you're seeing things pop in and out. That's just because on the Dreamcast, the way the rendering system works, once it leaves that 4:3 aspect ratio, it starts eliminating certain objects and textures to keep the frame rate up, because there's only so much that it can hold in its buffer. Video memory, whatever you want to call it. So it starts eliminating stuff. So you'll see, for instance, right now on the right side, it just eliminates all that rendering. So pretty much that cutscene was like, Ryo was like, hey, have you seen Yukawa? And so now you're looking for Yukawa. So for those of you that don't know, there's some differences in what's Shenmue. And I'll go through those right now. So we take a look around. This looks pretty damn nice in high definition, I will say. So you could see what I was talking about with people disappearing in the background. You see that guy walking towards us. He's just kind of like disappearing as I move him out of the 4:3 aspect ratio. So some major differences are, first off, pressing B will make Ryo turn around, which is the equivalent of pressing down in the retail game. Pressing X will make Ryo sit. I assume that this is the same kind of animation that was given to Ryo when he, you know, kind of kneels down to interact with the kitten, with Megumi's kitten. Some other small differences. You'll notice that at the Mary's embroidery and patch, we don't actually have Itoy-san. He's not there. It's somebody else. I really like Itoy-san. Ryo goes up to him. He's like, Itoy-san. Itoy-san's like, yes, I was one of the 3 blades. So there's some small differences with the shop owners, which is pretty interesting. Another thing you're going to notice is that there's out of bounds areas. So like when you run here, she's like, hey, you can't go over here. You're not allowed to. That's the same for behind this park here. This kid blocks that area. And then the other entrance to Sakura Gaoka is also blocked, as well as that back street going towards, you know, like Ono-san's motorcycle shop or Heartbeats bar. That's all blocked off. A while ago, I made a mod where you can just kind of walk around those areas anyway. It's pretty simple. I mean, all you really have to do is just take the map file that I'm running in right now and throw it into beta Shenmue, and combine it with the current Dobuita map so that you get rid of those clipping. So those people will be standing there and you'll have this map, but they won't stop you. So you just run right past them. There's some little differences in those areas, but not too much. Here we have Nozomi over here, which is interesting. Alright, so I'm back. Sorry about that, I got a phone call. Right now, my apartment got kind of messed up, so I got a call from the maintenance department. Some idiot on the 3rd floor decided to kind of leave his water running and destroyed the 2nd floor. And I'm on the 1st floor, so my ceiling got all soaked, unfortunately. So anyway, going back to what I said. So Nozomi, what's interesting about her animation cycle is that she just kind of stands there, blocking the entire entrance when normally she's on the side, but they also gave her the animations that you see her grandmother do. So you'll see her bending over, you know, fixing up the flowers and whatnot. Actually, I believe she's going through that animation cycle again, so... Yeah, you see her just kind of fiddling around with the flowers there. So that's pretty cool. We got Funny Bear Burgers, which are, I heard, are actually really good. You also see, is that Miki? There's Megumi in the background walking towards us, blocking that entrance. And what really interests me is... Oh look, hey look, it's Izumi from Shenmue 2 is blocking this entrance. It's kind of a downgraded model though. Looks like she has like a smaller polygon count or something. Alright, so let's continue with the game here. Oh, and unfortunately, Tomato Convenience Store is closed. Which sucks, and you don't hear the background music. And you'll also notice that this does have the Coca-Cola machines instead of the Bellwoods, because it's the Japanese version. For those of you who don't know, between the Japanese and the NTSC releases of Shenmue, they changed the product placement for Coca-Cola with Bellwoods. I don't know if the PAL version has Coca-Cola cans or not. So what we want to do now is go into the arcade. Rio just kind of disappears there, which is kind of funny. The arcade is actually pretty different, which is interesting. So you'll see that we do have Hang On. One of the big differences you'll notice is the jukebox has been replaced with one of these machines here. The posters on the walls, I believe, are relatively similar. At the top of my head, I cannot recall what posters are on the wall in the retail version. Usually, you don't see the two motorcyclists, biker guys, sitting here, and I believe that's a different table. These two tables aren't there in the retail version, I believe. I think the darts might be over here. For some reason, my mind's escaping me. And you'll see we actually have a copy of Afterburner in the arcade, which is interesting. Afterburner only shows up in Shenmue 2. And we have, you know, your Space Harrier, QTE title, and Excite QTE 2. However, the only playable thing in What's Shenmue is, I believe we can play the slot machine. Yep. Unfortunately, Hang On is not playable. Excite QTE, QTE title, Afterburner, and Space Harrier are not playable, but Darts is. And you'll notice that when you play Darts in What's Shenmue, Rio is going to have the Neo Darts animations. So his hand isn't going to do the thing like this, it's going to do that. That looks kind of wrong. I'm playing on a keyboard, so don't mind me. I'll be really bad at darts. You're going to see me fail horribly. Especially with the potential lag. So, yeah, we'll give it a shot. Not bad. I have a feeling this is going to take forever. Let's see. It also looks like that the red lines, like where the 50 circle is, the red lines making the X through it, will actually change the score. See if I can get a bullseye. Yes!
Yatta!
Yatta! Sugoi ne! This lag is throwing me off. Usually I can get all hundreds, because, like, once you know, like, that sweet spot to throw it at, you can just bang it out, man. Last dart. Let's make it count. Damn it! Derp. Nah, I have 290. I can deal with that. No, more darts. Alright, so now we gotta talk to the guy behind the counter. I actually forgot his name, which is kind of sad. Hello, what can I do for you? I'm just gonna kind of skip the audio. Just doesn't sound right. Shenmue homepage, and of course his finger's blocking it. Good job, Sega. Alright, so now we completed that portion of what Shenmue. We have to go get that card. Why is it saying... Oh yeah, that's right. Another thing in what Shenmue is, if you get a new item, it's gonna flash Y so that you go into this menu, and then you can see it. So here we have the card here. I forget what that means. What picture is this? Okay, so we have the Hazuki family. So we have Ryo, Fukusan, Iwao, and Ine-san. Some other differences in what's Shenmue that are a little more technical. The scene folder is totally different. In Shenmue, in the file system on the disk, you'll know that the scene is, you know, disk number 01, 02, 03. On what Shenmue, it's scene 80, which is kind of interesting. So now what's going to happen is we need to trigger a Qte sequence, which is similar to the one in the retail version, where Enoki and his friend that walks with him kind of bumps into you and you kick the shit out of him. And you're like, where is Okawa-san? Hey, look, it's Naoki. What's up, bro? What's going on, Naoki? Ryo, why is your voice multiplying? He looks like Naoki. For some reason, I'm starting to think that might not be Naoki. Alright, so hopefully we can trigger this cutscene. I forgot how to do it. Oh yeah, and also in the retail version, they replaced this lady with a guy, and he doesn't yell when you run past him. Oh, Nozomi. Easily one of my most favorite characters in the entire series. Alright, so we do need to trigger this cutscene. I think one of the trigger dependencies is you have to knock on this door and find that it's closed. Alright, so we did that. Hey look, it's Honey-san. Oh yeah, one other thing. That cart is missing. There's a cart here in the retail version, and it's not there. Which is kind of sad because you need that cart to perform the out of bounds glitch in Shenmue 1. But, I mean, yeah. One other thing is you'll see Tom leave his post. So Tom's walking back. He's just dancing on back to his hot dog truck. Oh, Tom. I love Tom. Tom's such an awesome character. I'm so sad to see him, you know, kind of just leave. But what you gonna do? One of the mods I wanted to do in Shenmue 2 was to replace Ren with Tom. So you'll just be hanging out with Tom all day. But never really followed through with it. Oh yeah, also in the retail version, this isn't blocked off. One other interesting thing is with the motorcyclists that you see riding around, you'll actually see Charlie on one of the bikes, which is kind of interesting. Oh yeah, when you run this in high definition, you'll see that the sky is kind of pixelated. I think it's because they're using one texture for the entire skybox. Does Tom go back to his hot dog truck? Tom just don't give a fuck. I got a job to do, but you know what? Fuck it. Oh, look, it's Mark. No shit. Let's go talk to Mark. I wonder if he has his English voice. I don't remember ever seeing him. That's pretty cool.
No. Sorry. Bye-bye.
Oh, that's right. I believe in the Japanese version, Mark doesn't speak English, but he talks as an American-speaking Japanese. So his Japanese is very, like, simple, which is really cool. One of the things most people don't see when they play Shenmue in English is that the voices actually represent, like, where the people come from. So, like, the sailors in Yokosuka will talk in very broken Japanese. And the two guys that you see outside of Heartbeat's bar when you first go there, there's Charlie, by the way. The first guy, when you go to Heartbeat's bar and they're like, "Go home!" The reason, oh, I'm sorry, what they say to Rio, like they get in his face, they're like, "Go home!" Like they're trying to tell him in English, but obviously he doesn't understand because he doesn't speak English. What time is this supposed to open? 16? So 4 o'clock? Alright, here we go.
Oh. Yukawa-sanですね.
Huh? Who are you? Get the fuck out of my way! Alright, so now we're gonna do the QTE. Hopefully I can actually do this on a keyboard. Let's screw up this one. Sorry, Ono-san. There goes your motorcycle. I always thought that part was pretty cool. When he disrupts the environment a little bit. Yeah, his way. Jump over the fruit! Tomatoes, whatever they are. Where is he? There he is! If you scrub too much at that point, where you get to the crossroads, Rio's like, uh-oh, and he doesn't find him. Sorry, Noriko. Sorry, sailor guy. You see at the harbor normally. Alright, so we run into this right here. We are back at U Arcade. It is 4:46 in the afternoon.
You go.
Wow, this game translates into HD very well. Looks so good. Too bad fucking Sega doesn't think the same way. Assholes.
ある人物からあなたを守ってくれと頼まれたんです。頼まれた？一体誰から？もしかして君が葉月君か？俺に頼んだのは後藤義雄という。
There's currently a project over at Shenmue Dojo where they're translating this game into English. Using, I believe they're doing just subtitle translations, which is awesome. I'm not a part of that project, but I love kind of stepping in and seeing where they're at and stuff. Some fascinating things. Alright, so here we have the final cutscene. Normally this would just be in its own window. So that's why you see the other side, the aspect ratio on the sides kind of all screwy. Oh yeah. Yes! Yes! Oh, his glasses disappeared. Congratulations! Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's what's Shenmue. There's some things that you can do that I didn't. For instance, like I said, there's a QTE where you see Anoki-san and his partner come at you, and you have to just kind of beat him up. And then he asks where that dude is. And, yeah. So now that we beat that portion, directed by Yu Suzuki, presented by Sega in 1999. So that's it. That's what's Shenmue. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Pretty cool demo if you ask me. Because like it takes, you know, what's in the retail game, but it just gives you kind of a different scenario, so it's like more in that universe. You can mod this game as well, make it do some interesting things like being able to free roam around the map. Some other interesting things is if you actually look at the disc of what's Shenmue, you'll actually find map files that's not used in the demo. If I remember correctly, I think there's an actual map file for the harbor, I think. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't remember. Feel free to correct me if you want. So my thoughts are, what Shenmue is amazing. You can find the actual disc pretty cheaply on eBay. I usually see it for between like 20 and 40 bucks with the, you know, booklet and a case. There's a super rare version, which is the Famitsu version, which I do have a copy of, but it's locked away. The only other person I know that even has it is Adam Koralik. It's pretty much a copy of what Shenmue that came with the Famitsu. I think it came with like an orange sleeve. Mine is just a loose disc with the sleeve. I don't know if it came with anything else. So, yeah, that's about it. And I really hope you enjoyed this playthrough. It's more or less just a test for a Let's Play of Shenmue 1, which I'm currently working on. I kind of want to narrow down the frame rate issues before I do an HD playthrough of Shenmue 1. So, yeah. I'm going to end this as always. Have a nice day.